Hey everyone, it's Sami from Sami's Sweet Life, and today we are talking Peloton stuff. I have a couple of thoughts on a few different things. Mainly, we're going to talk the guide. I have a drink with me. It might be a chit-chatty video. I've got my little octopus cup, and it's just boring old ice water. Nothing exciting, but I wanted to have it with me because I don't know how long I'm going to talk on this one, but I really wanted to talk about the new Peloton guide. I have thoughts. We're not really spilling tea or anything, but I definitely have thoughts about this. Last weekend, Olivia and I went up to her dance competition. It was up north in Austin, and we had to drive right by the Peloton store. So on the way back, we stopped and I tried out the guide. I set up an appointment for after her awards ceremony, and we went right over to the Peloton store and I tried out the guide. I got a tour of it from a salesperson at the store. They walked me through it. They showed me how it worked. I tried out a little bit of a workout and I left there thinking, I'm probably not gonna get it. And there's a few main reasons why. First, I wanna talk about the things I love about it. I really, really wanted to love it, but there's just a few things about it that held me back. But first up, I love that you can sort your workouts. You can search by body part, and I love that. I think that is just like a revolutionary, game-changing thing because there are lots of workouts that will say like full upper body or chest and back or glutes and legs, like lots of different workouts, but there are different muscle groups in those workouts. So you can search for just like calf workouts or just glute workouts, things like that that are really concentrated on that certain muscle. And of course they're going to target other muscles too in those workouts. But if you want like the main thing on your workout to be a certain muscle, you can search by that. And I think that's just a game-changing feature. I absolutely love that. And I could see buying it basically just for that. I think that would be the main thing I really want from that. I also really like that it tracks your movement. It has a little like movement drop bar that kind of looks like the Peloton logo. It kind of looks like a sweat droplet or a water droplet, and it will fill up and you will get like points for it when you complete a certain set in your workout. So it'll be like, okay, we're going to do 30 seconds of bicep curls starting now. It will fill up as you're making movement. It doesn't track your reps, like it doesn't track your bicep movement. It just tracks your overall movement within this box that goes around you. So you'll be up on the screen and there will be a box around your body. So it tracks the movement within that box. So you could be like jumping up and down. You could just be swinging your arms around. You don't actually have to be doing the exact movement for it to track your movement. Basically, as long as you're moving, that bar is going to fill up. So that's kind of iffy as far as like the functionality goes. And I think there's been things that have alluded to maybe eventually that it will track your reps. But right now, like fresh out of the box, it does not track anything except any movement within the box that it puts around your body. So it auto detects where you are on the screen. You have to be within a certain range, distance away from the camera, and it will track that movement within that box it puts around your body. So if you want like to gamify strength training a little bit more, this totally gamifies strength training a little bit more. Something that I found that I actually didn't like, it was really, really awkward and uncomfortable for me, was actually seeing myself up on the screen. Like, here's me, here is the Peloton instructor, and I'm trying to do the movements like them, and it's like expectation versus reality. Like, it's a cold, hard look at, first of all, what I look like, and the angle was not flattering, which we'll talk about in a second. And it was just like looking right up next to like the beautiful Peloton instructor, and they're like doing every movement exactly right, exactly with perfect form. And here's me, awkward and clunky and at a horrible angle, doing the thing right next to them. And I found that really uncomfortable. First of all, I was in a store, and it's first of all me putting myself up on the screen in a store. Like, it's a big screen TV, and that felt a little bit unnerving. But I think overall, I would not enjoy looking at myself on the screen. Like, I'm not scared of mirrors. I'm not scared of being in pictures with my kids. I know what I look like, but just like seeing myself up on there on the screen as I'm working out was really just not a motivating thing for me. And for some people it is. For some people, it's like, I could get the form right. I could look at myself versus them. And it was just way too awkward for me. I felt really awkward up on the screen. I felt way more vulnerable up on the screen than I feel like in my workout room. If I have a camera on me, I'm gonna feel way more vulnerable and awkward than if I just don't have the camera on me at all. Honestly, I just prefer not to have the camera on me. And so that's one big reason why I don't think the guide is for me, because I just don't see that as being a positive for me. Like, that's like, ew, I'm up on the screen. Like, I just didn't like it at all. And it was especially super awkward in a store, but I can see how I wouldn't like putting myself up on the screen because I'm gonna notice all the little imperfections, and it's not like I'm super critical of myself, but I'm just gonna feel kind of awkward and out of place seeing myself up there on the big screen. I'd just rather not. Like personally, I would just rather not be up there. So that was like a main thing. Like the guide is for you to see yourself way up on the screen so you can check your form and all this stuff, and that's just totally not for me. But going into it, my main con, like the main con of all, I could get used to being up on the screen over time. I'd get used to it, although it'd be awkward at first. It would become second nature, of course. Like if you have mirrors in your workout room, it just becomes second nature. And if I go to a gym that has mirrors, I feel awkward. Like I just don't like seeing myself working out that much. But you get used to it over time, I'm sure. So that I could get past. But the thing that really just, I feel like Peloton totally freaking missed the mark for this one is the dang guide does not hook to the bike. Doesn't hook to the bike. Doesn't work with the bike. WTF, guys. Like, this is just, come on. I have this big giant screen on my bike that swivels around. I've been working out with it for almost a year now. Why does that dang guide not stick to my freaking bike? I just don't get it. That's so dumb. It's just, that would be such an added benefit. And thinking like, okay, let's say hypothetically speaking, I just use the Peloton app and I don't have a bike yet. Getting the Peloton guide will deter me from getting the more expensive Bike Plus. I would totally just get the regular bike, not knowing how awesome the auto resistance is, but I would base it strictly on the swivel screen. I totally don't need a swivel screen if I'm gonna be putting a giant TV in my workout room and hooking the guide to it. So if I started with the guide as like my entry-level Peloton machine, I'm gonna go, oh, I'm gonna cheap out, get the cheaper bike and not get the Bike Plus because I have this screen already. I don't need a bigger screen. I don't need a fancier screen. Like the Bike Plus has a better like visibility. I don't know the specs on it. It's just a better screen overall. I don't need all that stuff if I'm gonna be putting it on the big TV anyway. And if I'm going to be using the big TV for strength training, I don't need to swivel the screen around, period, because I have the big TV there. So I think they totally missed the mark when they're saying it just hooks to a TV. Cannot hook to your bike. And I totally 100% would have bought the thing then on the spot if it hooked to my bike, because I have my room positioned. I don't have a TV in there yet, but I may at some point. But I would position, swivel my screen around, have the guide there, do my workouts through that interface, and it would be awesome. But instead, I'm left with, oh, okay, I have to put a TV in my workout room now because the guide only works with TVs. So that's an added expense. Like the guide itself is $295, and then a TV, what? You could get a really good TV for a couple $100. So we're looking at like doubling the price of the guide to put a TV in there. And yes, lots of people already have TVs in their room, but if you're a Peloton diehard fan, generally speaking, you have a bike or a treadmill, and both of them have giant screens that you could use with this. Although if the treadmill screens don't swivel, it would be a little bit harder. But I feel like this could have been an upsell for the Peloton Bike Plus because the swivel screen works, and you can just say you plug in the guide and it works with the big screen on your Peloton Bike Plus, and then it sells you on both. And I think that's where they really missed the mark. I'm sure they have like logistical reasons why they didn't hook it to the bike, but I feel like it would have been such a great add-on feature, and I totally would have bought it and stuck it on the top of my bike so I could swivel the screen around and search for what exact workout I wanted based on my body part, and I would get used to seeing myself up on the screen. But that's where they really just totally lost me. I have to get a TV, put it in the room in order to use this machine, and that's where it really just misses the mark for me. Totally misses the mark, and I'm disappointed that it doesn't hook with the bike. I feel like that's just one of those things, like, did somebody not think this all the way through? Because that would have been a great additional feature. Like when you go and you're buying a bike or a Bike Plus, it could compare and you'd be like, oh, it hooks to the Bike Plus. And then you could also have an add-on package where when you're getting the Bike Plus, one of the accessories you could get is tack on this $300 extra accessory. That would have been a great thing for them to upsell, and they just totally missed all of that. Totally missed it. And I feel like that was just a fail all around. I'm assuming there's reasons that they didn't do it that way, but I just feel like I would have bought it no matter what if it hooked to the bike. And now I'm like, I probably won't buy it. Anyway, so going back to like the unflattering angle, in the Peloton store, they have it set on a little table underneath a TV that's mounted on the wall, and it does clip to tops of TVs. Like there's a way to like put it on the top of a TV, and they have it just sitting on this thing. So it's like at a really low angle and it's like shooting up at you. And it's just a super unflattering angle, like double chin city if you're like looking down at it. It looked horrible as far as the angle. And she said, she's like, before she turned it on, she's like, I would recommend just sticking it on top of your TV. This is a really unflattering angle. Here you go. And shows it to me. And I'm like, ugh, I don't want to see that. So definitely, if you're going to get it, put it on the top of your TV. Make sure that it can sit up on the top, and it has a little way to like, not necessarily like clip on, but hang on the top of it so it sits up the correct way. And I would totally recommend that. But that's another like thing, like if you're demonstrating this in a store, put the dang thing where it's a really flattering angle for people like up higher. People generally like take pictures and stuff from the top, not from underneath. So I would definitely recommend, if you're showing it to people in stores and you're trying to sell it, make them look a little bit better, because that was kind of a turn off. Of course, you know, she told me up front that you could put it on top of the TV, but hello, just do it in the store. Like, why is it not done already in the store? So anyway, I rambled on enough about the Peloton guide. I don't know if I will get it at some point. Right now, I'm looking at probably not getting it, just because I don't know, a little bit peeved off that it doesn't work with the existing screen I already have in my room that I've been using for strength training just fine. And I'm looking at this thinking, okay, I use the Hardcore on the Floor calendar to find like strength training classes that are easy. I can also just search on the bike. I can swivel the screen around. I have a nice setup in there. What does the guide give me as far as like benefits? If I'm thinking like, okay, I'm going to spend this $300 more, it doesn't change my subscription rate. I already pay the higher subscription rate because I have the actual Peloton bike. And I'm thinking, what value does this bring to me? It just brings that searchability and being able to see myself up on the screen. And to me, that's just not enough. Like, I don't feel like that's a really great value. They are going to have exclusive content on the guide. And that is one of the things that I'm like, I really want it because I want that exclusive content. I want those special classes that are only on the guide. That is a bigger feature to me. Like, I want the exclusivity, all of the stuff. But I don't know that that's enough to tip me over the edge to spend the $300 plus spending the money to get a TV too. So we're looking at like, I don't know, $600, $700 all said and done. And I just don't know if I want to do that yet. We have talked about putting a TV in there anyway at some point once we get all the other workout equipment. But as far as like priorities, that guide is just not a high priority. I might end up getting it at some point, especially if it starts counting reps. That would be a really, really nice feature, but I feel like it's just not done yet. You know, version 1, I feel like it's just not there yet. And I really just wish it would hook to the bike. I am stuck on that really, really strongly. Like, why does it not just hook to the screen I already have and I'm already using and I already love using? It should have just been a, like, you plug it in and you get all the features. But unfortunately, that's not how they did it. And that's where I'm left with being like, meh on it. I just don't love it. And I really wanted to love it. I was really excited about it. I thought it'd bring like a whole new level to everything, and I'm just not sold on it yet. So I wanted to share my honest opinions about it. We're gonna switch gears a little bit and talk about something else that happened over this last week, and everybody's buzzing about it. Everybody's super angry about it or just fine about it. The Peloton subscription, if you have the all access, which you have to get if you have a tread or a bike, you have to pay the $39 subscription fee because you get all the metrics up on the screen, you get the leaderboard, all this different stuff that goes along with it. I don't mind paying the $39. Like, as far as like a gym membership, we were paying like $80 to go to the Y, and I think that's like a discounted rate that we got through my husband's work. We haven't had a subscription for a fitness or a gym or anything in a long, long time, so the $40 is not that big a deal. When all is said and done with the taxes that come out of it, it's like $44 and like 30 cents or something like that. I don't mind paying that. I feel like it's something that we can afford, and I prioritize my health, so that's something that I do. I also am in a mom's workout group, and so altogether I pay about $100 a month for my fitness stuff. So that's like my version of going to the gym, is like going to the mom's group, working out with my buddies. So between all that, I spend about $100 for fitness, and I feel like that's pretty reasonable. Like, this is my way to take care of myself. It's to keep my heart healthy, keep my body strong, and that's valuable to me. And so when I'm looking at them raising the price of the subscription, so it's $39 now and it's going to $44, so it's adding $5 extra to the subscription price, I'm like, who cares? Really, like, $5 a month shouldn't make or break your budget, and if it does, then you shouldn't be paying the $39 to begin with. I feel like for most people, if you're already paying the $39 a month, that $5 extra is not going to make or break anything. And I found that I was looking at more information and they have not changed the subscription price. I want to say it's been the same price for like 6 years. So I feel like as far as everything going up in price, it's unfortunately another thing that's just going up in price. And as far as the price hike for it, it's $5. So I feel like it's not that big of a cost hike. But if they keep doing it, like every year, if they're gonna go up by $5 and $5, people are gonna jump ship really, really quickly. So I'm on board for this. It's the only price hike they've had in 6 years. And if they wait another 6 years and add $5 more onto it, I'm not gonna be upset about that either. But I feel like, you know, with the new CEO coming in, part of the reason people are mad is because there was an article that came out with an interview or whatever, and he's like alluding to, no, we're not gonna change the price of the subscription for the all access members. And then 5 seconds later, they add $5 to it. So I can see why people are peeved off when they're like, no, nothing's gonna change, but you're gonna pay more. I think that's really a crappy way to start when you're like the new CEO coming in being like, hey everybody, we're gonna keep it all the same. By the way, you're gonna pay more. So I just thought that was kind of a shady thing to do, but overall, as far as like the cost of it, I still find that it's a really reasonable, really affordable type of option. I know people, if they're going to a gym, they're paying a lot more than $40 a month. I know there are cheaper gyms than that as well. So it's not saying like, oh, it's always cheaper than going to the gym. Not necessarily true, but it's also super convenient to just walk into the other room, wake up, roll out of bed, walk into the other room, get my workout done. And I do that most mornings and I really, really like it. I would be one of those kind of people that would not go to a gym every day, especially not first thing in the morning. And I would dread going because I don't want to be up on the screen. I don't want other people seeing me work out. Basically, that's the truth. I want to work out in the privacy of my own home, not feel awkward and uncomfortable with other people around me. I don't want to have to wait for equipment. I want to be able to hop on exactly when I want to hop on. And there's lots of reasons why there are certain type of people that do not want to go to the gym. So for me, I would pay this even if the gym was like $10 a month. I would rather pay more to do it at home, have the convenience of it, have my own bike. I don't want other people's sweatiness all over my equipment. So there's reasons for like choosing to work out at home versus work out in public. But for me, the $5 is just not a make or break thing. And I think for most Peloton people, it's not. And I think the people that are angry about it just on principle, like, oh, this new CEO is coming in and changing everything around and charging us more. I'm really aggravated about all of that part of it. And I can see that part, I can see that side, but at the end of the day, it's just $5. I know that comes off like really incredibly privileged and entitled that you're like, oh, $5, no big deal. Because it is $5 a month and $60 over the course of a year does add up. Like that's how much it is over the year. So it is quite a hike when you look at it like from month to month and add it all up. But if money was super tight, we would not have paid almost $3,000 for a bicycle that sits in our room. Like for real, like I feel blessed that $5 doesn't matter that much. You know, for me, it just doesn't. And I feel like I'm really being flippant about it and I don't want to come across like super bratty about it, but at the same time I'm like, we're talking about really expensive stuff, you know, and I find that it shouldn't make or break somebody's budget for this thing. If your finances are doing okay and you can afford comfortably the $39 a month, you should be able to also afford the $44 a month. Like the difference shouldn't make or break anything. So I feel like in that sense that $5 is not that big a deal. Like Hulu raised their prices, Disney Plus has raised their prices, everything's raising their prices. And I feel like it's just part of it. Groceries are so freaking expensive now. We're paying way more than $5 extra every month on groceries. It's just one of those things where it's like all the little increases are adding up and people are feeling the pressure of it. And I'm definitely feeling the pressures, like going grocery shopping is so much more expensive now and I'm feeling that pressure. But then I look at it and I'm like, but we're still living pretty comfortably. We're living within our means. We can handle the extra expenses and I feel blessed to be able to say that. Obviously, the $5 a month won't make or break anything for our budget. So I'm just gonna absorb it and not worry about it, worry about other things. So I just wanted to put that in here because I know it's like a really hot topic right now, hot button issue. If you bring it up in Peloton groups, there are people that are really, really angry about it. And then there are people that are like, just skip your morning Starbucks and you're fine. And I feel like that's a little bit more flippant of an attitude than I feel about it personally, because I don't think most people are going out and getting a Starbucks every single day. Maybe I'm wrong and naive, but I'm like, most people are not spending $5 plus on coffee every single day, but maybe there are quite a few that do. I don't, like that's a very special occasion thing for me. It's like going and spending $5 for a Frappuccino. But anyway, I hope that this video was helpful if you're considering the guide, if you're worried about the $5 subscription fee. I hope that I put it in a little bit more perspective. I know that, I know that it's money. I know that over the course of the year, it adds up. In the course of years and years, it adds up. But like with everything goes up in price. And there's like a little graphic. I'll try to find it and throw it up on the screen, but it says like 6 years ago, we had 6 instructors. We had, so many hundred classes. Now we have thousands and thousands, like tens of thousands of classes. We offer new classes this many every day. We have this many instructors, and it's just a very big difference on what they offered when they first came out and what they offer now. And for me, like, they could probably hike the price up quite a bit more and I would still begrudgingly subscribe because I just love the bike. I love the interface. I love the ecosystem. I love working out with it. I do all of my working out basically, aside from like going to the mom group, I do all my other working out with the Peloton app. Like, I just love it. I love everything about it. I love the instructors. I love everything. It's life-changing for me. When I found the Peloton stuff, I'm just like, this is it for me. Like, this is my workout. This is my fitness. This is me getting healthy and getting strong. And it's been life-changing for me. So I'm like, oh, they raised it $5. I'm still there. I'm still totally there, still addicted, and it's not going to change anything for me. So I hope you guys like this video. Be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And I would love to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about the $5 price hike? And also, what do you think about the Peloton guide? If you're interested or if you're not interested, I would love to know your reasoning behind it. I told you guys all my thoughts about it, and that's it. So have a great day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.